What's good, YouTube? What's good? Welcome to another edition of Sports Talk. Today, we're going to be talking real quick about the NFL. We're going to recap the season a little bit, and we're going to go over the wild card weekend selections. I'm joined today by my usual co-host. My boy D Free is in the building, and one of my best friends in the whole wide world, Mr. Socrates Palmer. And we got a guest, extra special guest. We got Socrates Palmer the third in the background.
Yes. How's it going, fellas?
So yeah, I'm gonna bring up in a minute, but yeah. So I mean, wild card weekend. None of our teams are in the playoffs, right? And we're going to be talking about other people's teams, And I know what the answer is going to be, but what did you guys think of the regular season?
I'm almost numb to being disappointed being a Raiders fan, but so that's my personal take as far as my squad. I think it's been a good year. A good year. I think there's some surprises. I didn't think the Ravens were going to be this good, and right now they're the best team in the NFL. You have Lamar Jackson, basically the MVP in my book. But I think it's been a good year. Hopefully, I think we're on the same page. Nobody wants to see the Eagles win the Super Bowl or the 49ers. And after that, I'm good.
I think I agree. I think Sock, you're missing one team. I know you don't want to see win. You don't want to see the Chiefs win again.
Yeah, no, I don't think I can handle it. Can you imagine Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl? Oh, jeez. It'll be crazy. I'm tired of Mr. Pfizer. I'm tired of the biracial angel, Pat Mahomes. I'm done. I'm done with the Chiefs.
I feel you. D Free, what do you think?
Yeah, it was a lot of surprises, a lot of things I saw coming, a lot of things that I didn't see coming. A lot of coaches get fired that I wasn't expecting to get fired. But overall, I thought my team did a lot worse than what I expect them that they was going to do. I expect them to do a lot better. I thought that Sam Howell was a much better quarterback than Taylor Heineke, and I thought that we would have had a lot better year, but we couldn't overcome the fact that we was just putting a Band-Aid over top of a deep wound in the offensive line, and we couldn't overcome it. So it showed throughout the season. At one point, Sam Howell was the most sacked quarterback in the league, although at the same time that he was the most sacked quarterback in the league, he had the most passing yardage. But it just wasn't enough to overcome. Like I said, we was putting a Band-Aid over top of a deep wound.
Yeah, the offensive line really killed you guys, and I know something about bad offensive lines with Seattle. But this year, the Seattle, as far as Geno not playing up to par as what he did last year, the defense, and I was kind of bragging about the defense before the season started with Seattle. I was really excited for the defense, and the defense was terrible. I think their defensive scheme was bad. Tyreek Woolen, who had a great rookie year, he was disappointing. You know what I'm saying? And this year he got benched a couple of times. One of our big highlights, obviously, is Witherspoon, the rookie. I think he had a great year when he was on the field. He was hurt. He missed a few games, so he can't help when he's, on the bench, with an injury. So he was good. And, of course, Wagner's always good. Wagner had a good year, another all-pro year for Bobby Wagner. But other than that, we made the trade for Leonard from the Giants. He gave up a second-round pick. And he played well. But we're going to end up losing him. So, obviously the biggest surprise was Pete Carroll getting dismissed. I guess it was a mutual agreement, but it kind of looks like he was forced out. So I don't know what direction Seattle's going to go with. I'm probably thinking they're going to go after Dan Quinn, who was the defensive coordinator with Seattle during the Super Bowl years. So we'll see what happens. But very disappointing year, obviously. A winning record, 9-8. Same record as last year, but didn't make the playoffs. And we don't have the picks like we did last year. So we're just gonna see what happens. I expect them to release a few guys, to get money under the cap. Jamal Adams, I think he's got to go. You know what I'm saying? I think Lockett won't be returned next year. I think he's gonna let go, and I think his contract is up anyway. And if the contract's not up, he's probably got a year left. They're probably gonna let him go. So it's a lot of things Seattle's got to, look forward to. Drew Lock is not going to return. They're going to let him go. He's going to experiment the market, so he'll end up somewhere. So that leaves us with just Geno. And do we draft a quarterback? So a lot of questions, but it's not about the teams that didn't make the playoffs like ours. It's about the teams that did make the playoffs. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over the wild card weekend, and we're going to make our picks. What I was thinking, guys, you guys let me know if this is okay. I'm thinking we're going to pick each game and do the spreads, but I think we'll also pick the winner or loser too, just to make it more interesting. It's less games, and we're going to get fewer and fewer games each week. And, this way we don't have to do the little draft like we're doing. We could just go through each game and just kind of go through it. This is a weird format this year because we got 2 games on a Monday, 2 playoff games on a Monday. I don't believe they did that last year. But I guess because it's a federal holiday, I guess it's okay to do it. Some bad weather games are going to have a lot of snow in Buffalo. That'll be interesting. But let's just get right to it. Let's start it off today in about an hour in Houston. Houston had a great comeback year, right? They got the rookie of the year, C.J. Stroud. They're going to host the Cleveland Browns, and the Browns are favorite on the road, -2, with what I believe has one of the best defenses in the playoffs, and probably the comeback player of the year in Joe Flacco, who literally just came off his couch and just started balling out. So Cleveland Browns -2. What do you guys think? Who you got winning and who you got covering?
Well, if I'll allow me to take that game first, Cleveland and the Texans are 2 teams that I'm not gonna say well, the Texans definitely surprised everybody. I don't think anyone had them winning more than 3 or 4 games with the rookie QB. Like you said, C.J. Stroud having a historic year. One thing's for a rookie to do his thing, but for a quarterback and to put up the numbers he's done, that's credit to a great coaching staff and credit to a talented young man, a guy that by far is the best QB taken in the draft. But the team really didn't finish that strong as the way they had. They had a really good big game start, and they kind of spun their wheels a little bit towards the end, which is the opposite of Cleveland, who, they basically gave how much money to Deshaun Watson?
A lot.
A lot, right? And now it's like, they played better without him. Even the guy that they had before Flacco took over played well. I can't remember his name, the guy from Temple. So that's the situation moving forward. But we're talking about the now, the games today. I'm picking the Browns. I think the Browns are playing well. I think they have the best player on the field in Myles Garrett, and I think it's going to be a positive year, even if the Texans get bumped, first round. They have a lot to build on for next year.
My man Joey said $245 million for Deshaun Watson. Jesus Christ.
You can get a lot of massages for that money.
Yeah. I think Cleveland Browns they had a comeback season this season, because I believe they lost their running back. Well, I think it was the second game of the year.
Yeah.
They lost their running back, and then their quarterback that they spent all that money for, he went down again for the rest of the season. And like you said, they went and got Joe Flacco off the couch, and Joe Flacco stepped in and did good. He's that type of quarterback where you can plug him in for a few games and he'll do good for you. I don't know if he's somebody that you can have for the whole season. but he is definitely a quarterback that you can plug in for a few games and he'll do well for you. Um, and then you look at Houston. In Houston, a turnaround season from the season before. I mean, it finally paid off all of those draft picks that they got, and because they was getting top draft picks year after year, and it seemed like they wasn't getting any better, and it finally paid off for them. They made it to the playoffs with a rookie quarterback, and C.J. Stroud. I mean, he definitely. I think he was offensive rookie of the year, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But Cleveland defense might be just a little bit too much for CJ this right now this season. But I'm still going to be rooting for Houston to win that game. I'm gonna be rooting for Houston. I think Cleveland might pull it off, but I'm gonna be rooting for Houston.
Okay. So you're gonna pick. So both of you guys are picking the Browns.
I am, yes. I'm going with the Browns.
You're taking the Browns, and you're taking the Browns -2.
Correct. I think they are a touchdown better.
And D3, you're taking the Browns as well? D3? Oh, he went off. But it sounds like he's rooting for the Texans, but I think he's taking the Browns.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was his take, yeah.
Before I say my piece, let me just go into this. Joey Santana, my man Joey says Cleveland gave away all those draft picks, and instead they could have drafted CJ and got Flacco for free off the couch. Hey, BVO, he said Doc, but I know he meant Sock loves to cut the black man down. Cut down the black.
Absolutely. Every time I get, I got to stay on code.
Joey says the Browns doing Browns things, but this year seems a little different. They should win today. And some other people in the chat, he's taking the Browns. K Savoy says he's Cleveland beat them earlier, but with no CJ. Right, that's true. And let's see, my co-host broke my heart with that take. Code. Real quick, so I'm taking the Browns as well. I like the Browns. I like the Browns -2 as well. They go D3 right there. I like the Browns -2 as well. I'm taking the Browns. I think we're gonna have a good game. One thing about CJ that we learned this year also, he didn't really turn the ball over. I think he had one game where he threw 3 picks, and before that, I think he had like 3 picks for the season. Like, he doesn't really turn the ball over. So, and I think in order to win a playoff game like this, you can't turn the ball over. I expect the Houston fans to be loud and go crazy for their team. But the Browns have been battle tested all year long. Obviously, they had to face losing. They had to compete without their starting running back, their starting quarterback that they paid all that money. So I expect the Browns to be battle tested and go into Houston, hostile environment, and win this game. Also, C.J. Stroud, offensive rookie of the year. I agree. But what do you guys think? I know this is a little bit off of the kid on the Rams, the wide receiver. You don't think he could get some votes for offensive rookie of the year? Pakula, this is if I'm saying his name right.
The wide receiver from BYU.
Yeah,
he had a great year. He had a really great year. I mean, you talk about the complimentary guy to Cooper Kupp. Credit to the Rams finding him. But this is a quarterback-driven league, and the NFL is about making superstars. And C.J. Stroud having a great rookie year. I think that's. I don't think it's going to be close. I think he'll finish second. But it's a QB league.
And D3, I think you said you was rooting for Houston, but you said you're picking the Browns, right?
Yeah, I'm picking the Browns, but I'm rooting.
And the Browns -2. Okay. I mean, that's real. I mean, if they win, you figure 2. Nobody's going to take the Browns -2 and then say the Texans. No, it doesn't make sense. You take the Browns -2, you're taking them to win too. So, okay, the next game, Miami, who's been getting banged up and hasn't looked good the last few weeks, they travel to Kansas City, who's kind of, played a little bit better. They didn't have the Kansas City year that we're used to. We got Kansas City at home, -5 versus the Dolphins. Any of you want to lead it?
I mean, I'll go. I think Kansas City definitely missed they missed EB. I think they missed EB, and then they had a lot of problems with their receiving core. Like, I don't know what happened to their receiving core. I think they forgot how to catch overnight. these guys dropped everything there was
Mm-hmm.
to drop. They dropped their newborn baby at the hospital. They dropped everything. I don't know what was going on with them boys, but I think I think Miami, they had a turnaround year. I think Miami's going to actually win this game. I
Ooh.
got Miami. I got Miami winning by at least a touchdown.
So wow. So that means if you're taking Miami, that means they're
Yeah,
obviously taking a +5. So I'm gonna write down D3 Dolphins +5, and that obviously means they got them to win too. I'll go next, Sock. I like that pick, but I like Miami to cover. I was thinking about this game because I figure it's in Kansas City. The weather's not going to be in Miami's favor. Kansas City at home is a tough place to win at. -5 is tough. They did play already this year. I believe that game was in Germany, and Kansas City was up early, and then Miami came back, and it ended up to be a touchdown game. And I believe in that game there was some drops too, D3, where Miami, dropped some clear passes where they could have, made something happen. But I like the Chiefs to win the game, but I think it's a close game. I got the Chiefs, but I got Miami +5.
Please follow the instructions.
Sock? Sock there? Sock
Hey,
is happy.
yeah. Hey,
go
I'm here. You know what? Nothing would bring joy to my heart than to see the Chiefs get knocked out in the first round of playoffs at home. But I think it hit the two factors. The Dolphins have been really hit with injuries, bad injuries. They lost Phillips a few weeks ago, the linebacker, and then they lost Chubb to a bad knee injury. Those two guys, were having really good years for them. The weather's going to be a factor. Tyreek Hill, I don't think it's necessarily going to affect him. He's a guy that's used to playing cold weather. But just if you're going to ask me, the cold weather and that ball is going to feel like a brick, who's it going to affect more? It's Miami. I think Kansas City wins an ugly game, a low-scoring game. I think the home field will be a factor. I think the Chiefs' defensive line is very good. I think Jones is one of the most underrated players in the league, and I think a little bit home cooking helps too. So I'm picking the Chiefs by a field goal. So I'm going to piggyback over you, Tom. Pause. I like a close. I think the Dolphins will show up. I think it'll be close. But I'm picking KC. KC and the refs.
So you got Dolphins +5, but you got the Chiefs to win. Same thing as
correct.
Me.
Yeah.
And D3 is going to get that plus money. He got the Dolphins to win straight up. So obviously
that's so, man.
Because that's an underdog. So and then
I hope
obviously
so.
Sock is rooting for that because he hates the Chiefs. Let me go in the chat.
And my brother's a big Dolphin fan, so I would like to see my brother win a game. My brother Ramon.
Shout out to Ramon. Let me just go to some of the chats. My man Joey says Miami won their Super Bowl on Christmas Eve. Joey is a Cowboys fan. We're going to go to that game next, Joey. BVO is taking the Chiefs. K Savoy says Miami is 0-10 when the temperature is under 40 degrees, and today is -8 with a wind chill of -20. Wow. Thanks for that, K Savoy. That's a great stat. Joey says Miami equals paper tigers. Too many injuries on defense. We said that. You're right. Tariq is a little bit banged up too. And then here goes BVO getting at Sock as usual. Sock with another pick against the brother. And
who? Tua? Tua's a Samoan.
Yeah.
Tua's part of the he's with Roman Reigns in them. He's part of the where that come from? Mahomes don't count?
Yo, BVO, BVO's crazy, man. All right, let's go to the next game. I'll lead it off here. Everybody, we got people in the chat that are Cowboy fans here. And we got the Green Bay Packers at Dallas. And Dallas is a touchdown favorite with an extra point, -7, the Dallas Cowboys. I think this game could be close early. I think Green Bay's only chance is to score early and to score quick. I don't see it happening. Dallas has played extremely well at home. And even when they haven't played extremely well at home, they have a second team in those referees that seem to look out for them. And I don't see how Green Bay can win this game. Cover, I'm not sure. I expect Dallas to blow out Green Bay. I think Dallas wins this game by 17. I got the Cowboys winning by 17 over the Green Bay Packers. Thanks to the referees and obviously thanks to the talent. Dak has had an MVP type year. Unfortunately, Lamar to me is the MVP. You have some other guys in consideration, but I think Dak might get number 2, either him, Purdy, or McCaffrey. But Dak had a great year. CeeDee Lamb has had a great second half to the season. There was a stretch of 6-7 games where Dak had about 20 touchdowns and CeeDee was balling out. So, but I have the Cowboys blowing out the Packers by 17. Any of you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think the Cowboys are clearly the better team. Although Jordan Love's had a really good last 4 or 5 weeks. I never thought much of the Packers all year, but they've gotten better. LaFleur has coached them up. They're a young team. I think they're one of the youngest teams in the league. But this is one of those games that the next day the Cowboy fans are going to be making reservations for Las Vegas because it's going to get the fan base even more gassed than what they already are. The Cowboys win big. The media goes crazy. Skip Bayless will go nuts. And they're going to overrate the overrated Cowboys. So they enjoy this win. I think it'll be the last one that they have the rest of the year. So celebrate this win.
So he's taking Cowboys -7, and he's saying after that,
the last win.
Will be good riddance for the Cowboys next week. I don't agree. It depends on the matchup next week. And I have no hate for the Cowboys because my own hate is really the San Francisco 49ers. So I want to see anybody beat the Niners. After that, I really don't care. So if it comes down to Dallas and the Niners, how about them Cowboys? I'll be a Cowboy fan. What do you think?
I'm right there with Sock. I think this is going to be the only win that Dallas get in the playoffs. They got a hellified defense. Their defense been playing lights out as of late. I think Green Bay is one of those surprise teams that made it into the playoffs because you always have one of those surprise teams every year that makes it to the playoffs that nobody saw coming. And I think Green Bay is that because Green Bay, they don't do anything that make you have to worry about anything. They have okay receivers. They got an okay running back. They got an okay quarterback. He played good. But he's not somebody that you say, okay, you know what? I gotta watch out for Jordan Love. He's gonna light us up. No, they are okay. They have moments where they play good. They have moments where you like, okay, how did this team win a game? So I think Dallas is gonna run through Green Bay. They probably beat them by like 14 points, 13, 14 points, something like that, maybe even more. But I think Dallas is gonna win this, and then they're gonna pretty much pack it up and be sitting beside me and the Eagles on the couch watching the rest of the playoffs.
High five on that, D. High five on that.
A lot of hate for the Cowboys, but can you blame D. Free? He's a Washington fan. That's the rival, and Sock is just a hater all around. And me, I don't really have hate for the Cowboys. I mean, I'm just upset when we played them. The referees kind of helped them in the game, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, we're talking about the teams that are in the playoffs, the Cowboys in the playoffs. I think the Cowboys win big. And I think they win next week too because I could see, the Rams winning, which are going to the next game. I could see that happening. And, the Cowboys are going to get another home game next week if they win, right? And I'm just saying, I don't think the Cowboys are losing at home, So the only team would be San Francisco, but that would be in Santa Clara. So, but let me go look at the chat, see some comments real quick from the Cowboy supporters. He says, let them play, let the players play, and Michael will wreck the game. We'll see. D-Man thinks, I'm a hater and we're a hater. We're not hating. We all picked the Cowboys. D-Man, what's wrong with you? Joey thinks we're hating too. We picked the Cowboys. What's going on? We're not hating. BBO, he says he hates the Seahawks. They're not in the playoffs, so who cares? Well, we beat the Browns, and he picks the Cowboys. So let's go to the next game. This will probably be the closest game of the playoffs, one of the closest games, because I think Monday will be a close game too. But anyway, Rams, who have been hot down the stretch, They are getting 3 points in Detroit at the Detroit Lions. Lions are coming to this game a little banged up, I believe. The Rams are coming in hot, right? They've been on fire. I don't believe I think they've won like 4 or 5 in a row, if I'm not mistaken. The Seahawks game was one of them where Seahawks dominated the game and we lost the game in a missed field goal. But let's not talk about that. But yeah, the Rams are looking good. Stafford going into his old place, Detroit, and then Goff going and playing against his old team. This is crazy. This is the trade, the quarterback trade. They're facing off each other in the playoffs against their former teams. So, which one of you would like to lead off, hit, and take this one?
I think. Go ahead. I'll pass to D first.
Yeah, I this is a game where it comes down to the offensive coordinators, because neither one of these teams have real great defenses. They got okay defense. Their defense is somewhere around the middle of the pack. But it's going to come down to the offense, and I think Detroit Lions offense is a little bit better, and I think Ben Johnson he's gonna dial up a hellified game plan because he's trying to get the biggest contract he can get with Washington because he's the leading candidate as the next head coach for Washington, and so he's gonna try to impress the owners so he can get a hellified contract. But I think like Detroit remind me a lot like Miami. They can run the score up at any given time. They got all the St. Brown's been having a hellified year. He's underrated, and he's had a hellified year. Even Montgomery, the running back, he's been having a hellified year. I think he's underrated this year. But they can run the score up. Now the Rams, they definitely look better since they got Cooper Kupp back and he's fully healthy. They look better, and then they got a offensive rookie wide receiver who's had a hellified year. If it wasn't for C.J. Stroud, he would probably be the leading candidate for offensive rookie of the year. I think Detroit just might be a little bit better than the Rams, so I'm gonna say Detroit probably win this game by 3 points.
Okay, so you're saying you're not even picking the spread. You're picking Detroit's going to win because they're favored by 3. So you're not taking anybody with the spread. You think it's going to be a push?
No, I think it might be a push. I think this game is that close because, like I said, their defenses are not really stopping nobody. It's just a matter of who can outscore the next person.
Yeah, it's gonna. So you're saying it's going to field goal. That's not bad. Sock, if your son is going to let you talk.
Yeah, I went to the other room. Let me see where he finds me. If there's a fan base that deserves a playoff win in this whole playoff, is the Detroit Lions, right? And I think everybody's even a little bit more sympathetic after watching that Barry Sanders documentary. That fan base hasn't won in a long time. I like what the Lions have done all year. Great fantasy players, Amon St. Brown, and to me, the best, another rookie, Sam Laporta. I mean, who is banged up. I believe last I checked, he's questionable. I think he's definitely a factor if he's on the field. Even if he's on the field, how effective is he going to be? I'm rooting for Detroit. I'm picking Detroit, but the Rams have the edge in coaching. I think they have the edge in quarterback. The wide receivers, I think, are about even. But there's a guy in the mid who can be a game wrecker. A guy who, in my opinion, is an all-time great, and that's Aaron Donald, who is a factor still. He made All-Pro this year. Not as good as he was, but still great. And I think I'm picking Detroit. It's going to be I think it's going to be the best game of the weekend for sure.
So you're picking Detroit to win the game, and you're going to pick by a spread?
I'm picking if anyone wants to make some money, I think it's going to be a shootout. I think both teams are going to. Yes, I'm picking the over. I'm
Over
picking
51 and a
Detroit.
half, it looks like, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fun game, a fun watch. So give me Detroit
I
late field goal.
late field goal. So you got it as a field goal game too, as a push.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I agree with both of you, except I'm gonna disagree on the outcome. And there's a method to my madness too. It's a little biased as well, and I'll explain that. I agree on everything you guys said. I mean, the Lions can put up points in bunches, and but Laporta's question mark, and he to me was the best tight end of in football this year.
Yep.
He was a monster. He had a monster league first year, rookie year. Seems like all them Iowa guys are just they produce nothing but good tight ends.
Right.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Larry Donald is a monster, but
Who? Larry Donald.
Not
You punchy?
Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald's a monster, but Detroit has another monster on the defensive line as well, in Hutchinson. So it's going to be interesting. The thing about the Lions and why the Lions are either good or bad, it's all gone Goff. When Goff turns the ball over, it's not a good thing. It's not good, and he tends to have games where if he gets one turnover, you're going to see another and another because he tries to force the issue. And that's one of the reasons why I'm taking the Rams +3, and I'm thinking the Rams to win outright. The Rams are hot. Detroit, I don't think they've beaten a playoff team besides Kansas City. I could be wrong on that. Green Bay beat Detroit. I like the Rams, and I like the Rams to win, and I like the Rams to go into San Francisco next week and give San Francisco all they could take. So that's what I mean by method to my madness. Because if the Rams win and the Cowboys win, that means the Rams would be the lowest seed, and they'll end up playing San Francisco. And I think they match up well with San Francisco. So, and it's all about beating San Francisco, and that's why I'm leaning towards the Rams. That's all I care about. I swear. And then speaking of San Francisco, look who pops in. The San Francisco fan.
It's like you said Candyman 3 times, right?
Right.
That's why I'm going with the Rams this week. We lost to Detroit, but I hope the Rams at least hurt their ass. That's D-Ray. He's a Cowboy fan. All right, let's go to the next games. The 2 games left. That's the Monday games. We've got the Pittsburgh Steelers, who got into the playoffs at the 7th seed, taking on the Buffalo Bills, who've been hot lately, right? This is a team that in the beginning of the year I kind of shitted on. And they're 10-point favorites in Buffalo. I'll lead with this since I shitted on Buffalo all year. Buffalo's played well. But the thing about Buffalo is they're still turning the ball over, and I think their defense is going to be big against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's offense has played well lately, but they haven't played against really any solid defense. They played against some bad defenses. So I think Buffalo in the snow, depending, I still think Buffalo. I think Buffalo's going to rout Pittsburgh. I got Buffalo in a blowout, and I'm going to love it too because I hate the Steelers. So I got Buffalo winning 35-7.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a little bit of hate on top of it as well.
Hey,
Yeah,
I think they're gonna smack them too. I'm sorry, but I like the Bills too, and it's funny because you and I, well, you at the beginning of the year thought that they would miss the playoffs, and I thought at one point, that they were cooked. I thought they were going to wind up like Cincinnati. So credit to the coaching staff, credit to Josh Allen, who Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, right? When Josh Allen's good, he's great. Well, he's great. He's great. But when he's bad, he's very bad. Hella bad. He's almost like a white Cam Newton.
Yeah. Think about this before D3 goes. I believe Buffalo was 3 games out with 5 games to play. Miami had a 3-game lead, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
Yeah, credit to the coaching staff, and credit to guys that have been there before. I mean, the Bills could have been in the Super Bowl easily, in the last couple of years. So, give me the Bills, big time blowout. No T.J. Watt, that breaks my heart. He's not going to be there. Oh man,
I said sarcasm.
Highsmith, who's probably the most underrated player in the NFL, who is the reason why T.J. Watt doesn't see many double teams.
Yeah.
He's going to have to carry the load. They have a great coach as well. I think Mike Tomlin has done a great job, but that QB situation is trash. They don't really run the ball well. Give me the Bills. Bills Mafia will be having a good old time.
You gonna be jumping through any tables?
No.
Go ahead.
I ain't got.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with both of y'all. Pittsburgh, they snuck into the playoffs. I didn't see this coming because their offense didn't look good. But they was able to put some wins together when they needed to make it into the playoffs. Same thing with Buffalo. At one time, Buffalo looked like they was done. It looked like they wasn't. It looked like it was going to be Miami and not Miami. Yeah, Miami and what's the other team in their division? God, not. It looked like the Jets at one time, and then the Jets lost everything first game of the season.
First game,
when Aaron Rodgers got hurt. It was like, okay, Jets is out of it. Now is New England gonna do anything? Then New England looked like they couldn't do anything. So it just I didn't think Buffalo was gonna make it. But they did put some games together late. Their defense is playing. They came on strong at the end of the season, and right now, Buffalo look like Buffalo of 2 years ago. That's what they look like right now. Now, how long will that last? I don't know because, like I said, at the beginning of the year, Buffalo looked like they couldn't beat nobody. But I don't think Pittsburgh offense is good enough to beat Buffalo. I think their defense is good enough, but I think their defense is going to be on the field way too often, and they're going to end up getting worn out. And Buffalo is going to just rack up the points. I think Buffalo is going to probably beat them by 10 points. I got Buffalo winning this by 10.
Well, the spread is 10, D Free. I don't know if you're taking another push here. What would you take? You take the minus 10 or plus 10 for Pittsburgh?
Well, in that case, if they got Buffalo minus 10, I'm gonna go with Buffalo by 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's supposed to be snowing, a lot of snow, and they're trying to shovel the snow as we speak. I heard, or they're looking for people because they're
hiring. They actually. Sorry to cut you off, Captain, but they actually they posted job openings. Temporary. To help clean up the snow. And the one thing that has turned the Bills season around is their commitment to running the ball.
Yes.
This kid Cook, and when they changed OCs, they got rid of my guy Dorsey. They've committed to running the ball, and in the weather, in the games like today, I mean, people think that the advantage is the defense. I think it's on the is the contrary. The defensive player is the one on his heels, and that footing, and I think whoever runs the ball best obviously wins this game, but it doesn't matter. This, like you said, 2 scores easy.
Yeah, I agree. And now leave us to our final game of the playoffs. D Free's favorite team, the Philadelphia Eagles, are minus 2.5 at Tampa Bay against the Buccaneers, who won the NFC South Division. Interesting game here because Philly has not played well the last few weeks, specifically their defense, and I think no A.J. Brown. I don't know which one want to take the lead here.
Yeah.
Well, D Free, since you love the Eagles so much, maybe you want to lead off.
Yeah. Eagles was the hottest team in the NFC. They were the hottest team in the NFL. At one time, I think they was like 13-1. And then all hell broke loose.
Yep.
The Eagles seemed like they couldn't win a fucking game. They was losing to bad teams. They was having big leads and letting teams come back and win the game. And they ended the season losing 4 out of the last 5 games. Tampa Bay, they was hot at moments and then they were cold at moments. They put games together to end up winning that division, but they off and on. Uh, but Baker Mayfield, he looked good at times. He looked very good at times. Um, but if I have to choose, because both these teams it's like a 50-50 right here with these two teams. I think it's going to be a close game. But if I have to choose, I think I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay, because Philly losing 4 out of the last 5 games, you can't go into the playoffs losing. Like they literally losing into the playoffs.
Yeah.
You can't go into the playoffs losing, and then not only are you losing going into the playoffs, but you lose your number one weapon. The number one weapon on your team is not playing in this game. You pray that you make it to the next round because he might be back, but he got a hyper extended knee. And that's not something that you could just come back after a week or two. So he might be, even if they make it past Tampa, he might not be back for the next game. But I just think Tampa is the way Philly look, I cannot believe that Philly will beat Tampa Bay. So I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay, and I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay with the points, but I think they're gonna win outright. I think they're gonna win by at least a touchdown.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Sock, you want to go next, or you want me to go next?
Yeah, I'll go. I'll take it. I wish I had as much courage and to pick the Bucks. But I will be a hypocrite because damn straight I will be rooting for the Bucks as I watch the game from my living room. I'll be rooting for the Bucks like you have no idea. Okay, there's and there's nothing against the city of Philadelphia, nothing against the Eagles players, but it's someone that I grew up with, one of NYPD's finest, and I want to see him miserable. And that
it
is
doesn't
Brett
matter, Stock,
Ortiz.
because he's gonna
It-
deflect towards the Michigan championship. So it's a no
Yeah,
win.
yeah, you know what? But you know what? This is 2024. Our attention span, that's yesterday's news.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. Ain't no, listen, nobody cares about college football in New York anymore. We care about the Eagles losing here in the Big Apple. That's number one. But I can't see them losing to the Bucks. The Bucks really didn't look great against the Panthers, only putting up 9 points. Now, there's a lot of backstory with the Eagles. Sirianni seems that he's worn out his welcome. That arrogance, that swag he had is starting to turn people off. He's getting murdered on sports talk radio over there. Like you said before, A.J. Brown being hurt. Jalen Hurts is not 100%. He hasn't spun the ball well. They don't really run the ball well. Certain guys that have been stalwarts on that team, maybe Father Time is catching up with them. Jason Kelsey, the lineman Cox, the rookie from Georgia, the guy that he came up. He had a great first 5 to 6 weeks. He looked like Warren Sapp.
Yeah.
I haven't heard his name in a minute.
And
So
all you heard was
Jalen Carter
about him as like the best defensive rookie.
Yep, and he's not going to win it because he tailed off.
Yeah.
They are in disarray. I would love to see them lose. Believe me, as much as I hate them, I can't see them losing to the Bucks. I think they're just a little bit better, but I'll be rooting for them. So, give me the stupid Eagles. As far as a pick.
You taking the Eagles minus 2.5 too, or them to win and not cover?
I think they'll win. Yeah, I think they should a field goal. And Tampa Bay is a great home field too.
Yeah.
Tampa, it's a good fan base, and even before Tom Brady, it was a good fan base. But that Eagle team is not. There's not a lot of harmony there. They're talking about Sirianni might be done if they go out tomorrow.
Well, I agree.
Is it tomorrow or tonight?
With you
No,
here.
that's Monday. That's the Monday game.
Yeah, that's the second Monday game. There's 2 Monday games.
That's the last game, basically, right?
That's the last game. Monday night, 8 o'clock at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, like you said, they have a good, they get a good crowd and a good, they have good support. I agree with both of you, but I'm gonna lean towards the Eagles here. I think the Eagles win. I think they barely cover. I think there's a field goal game. I think both teams are going to score a lot of points. I think the Eagles defense has been horrible. I think us three playing two-hand touch, even with me quarterbacking, I think I could throw for like 3 touchdowns. So I like the Eagles -3. I know who Sock is talking about. We had him on the show before, Mr. Brett. I will say his last name. And he's a big-time Eagles fan. He's also a Michigan fan, and it'd be nice to see him.
Nobody cares about that in New York.
Yeah, it's true.
We got too much stuff going on in New York.
The Eagles, but a side note, I'm gonna also take the over 43. I think both teams score, at least 24 points. So I'll take the Eagles -2.5, which is basically a field goal, and that'll wrap it up for our picks. We'll see how we do next week. We'll go probably next Friday when we do our Friday sports talk. We'll probably do that. And let me take this off the screen. And then we'll recap what we did as well as some boxing. Yeah, I mean the playoff game is about to start in another half an hour. My man BVO has got a watch party with his Browns. He's posted here. My man D Free is cooking. He's always cooking, whether it's in the kitchen or on YouTube. So, and yeah, so that'll wrap it up. Any final words from you guys? We wanted to make a quick NFL live and do our picks. And
nah, I just need to see the Browns lose and Cowboys lose. And my weekend is set. My birthday is on Tuesday. I need them to give me an early birthday present. My birthday Tuesday.
Okay. I need Capricorn season. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I need them to give me an early birthday present.
That'll be what's up. I mean, one thing about our channel here and our group here is that we are, what's the word I want to say? We are glorified and well-known haters, and we will let you know that we will hate on your team. Like I hate the Niners, and I see guys hating on BVO and his Browns just because it's BVO. I hate on the Eagles just because it's Brett. That's what we do here. I don't hate the Niners just because of Shelton, and my brother who's a Niner fan. I hate the Niners because of all the Niner fans, especially in the New York area that jumped on the Niner wagon back in the early 90s. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody that came through today. BVO is going to have a watch party for his Browns. I might pop up in there. I'm rooting for the Browns, so I'm not going to go in there hating, but we are quick to turn, right? When somebody reaches out for the tag, we might pull the arm back and let them get pounded out. So if the Browns do lose, I may turn on you, BVO, because that's what we do. So I appreciate you guys here that came through, man. This was great. And hopefully we'll see you guys soon. We got a couple things cooking for next week. Maybe during the week we might drop a video or so. We're trying to interview another fighter. But stay tuned. Please like, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And shout out TWT. And we'll see y'all soon. Take care.
Peace.